Qwen 3.5 just dropped, and the 9B version is beating AI models 13 times its size. Let me say that again. A free AI model running on your laptop right now beating OpenAI's models that are way more expensive to run. This is a free AI model you can run locally. And Alibaba just released a new version of Qwen 3.5, and the 9B version just came out hours ago. It's available on Ollama right now with one command, that's it, and then you get a free AI machine, free AI on your machine in just 5 minutes. Now, this little 9B model just beat other versions of GPT. That's the model 13 times bigger, and it beat the old Qwen 3.5 model 3 times its size. It beat GPT-5 Nano on Vision, and that's the thing that's supposed to see and understand images by 13 points. You actually see the benchmarks right here. And here's the part that changes everything. This model doesn't just chat, it's the images, it can read documents all from the same model, all running on your laptop, all free. And this is not a cloud model, this is completely local. So we're going to test it live today, right now, together. And we just found out about this. So we're going to test this out. And by the end of this video, you can see a free private AI running on your computer that can see, think, reason, and work, outperforming AI tools that companies are charging for. And if you've ever thought free AI was just okay and not good enough for real work, what you're about to see may change your mind completely. So let's get straight into this. So these are the benchmarks as you see for the models. You can see Qwen 3.5 9B. This is the purple on the charts. It's a new announcement just a few hours ago from Qwen. And you can see how it performs on all the benchmarks. It's right up there with, for example, versions of Gemini, GPT-5, etc. So if you want to get started on running this model, one of the easiest ways is like you can just run it through Ollama. The way that you would do that is you just go to Ollama, download it here. So you can install this inside your terminal. You just copy that command and then open up your terminal inside a new window. That's one way. And then what you're going to do from there is go to models and then go to Qwen 3.5. And then you can see the 9B version of Qwen running right there. You can also run this inside LM Studio. So you can see here, for example, we've got LM Studio running with Qwen 3.5 9B. There are even more lightweight versions of this as well. And some people have even managed to get this running on a iPhone 17 Pro, which is pretty insane. Look at that. It's a tweet by Adrian Grondin, and you can see here that the new version of Qwen 3.5 is now running directly on something as easy to run as this, right? So we're going to test this out, see how it performs today. And the way you can get access to this, you can just go to the downloads over here. You can search a model. So, for example, Qwen 3.5B, and then from there you are good to go. Right, so you can see Qwen 3.5B. You can download the model like so. If you type in 9B here as well, you can get access inside our studio, and you can go from there. All right. So that's basically how it works. And then once you've done that, you can install it. So you can click on Use in New Chat, and then go from there. Had a slight problem with the live stream there, so I'm just going to run that again. So let's go back into this. So Qwen 3.5 just dropped a new model, and this is outperforming many of some of the most powerful models in the world directly on the benchmarks. You can see how it performs versus other models, for example, previous versions of Qwen, and also how it performs versus Claude Opus 4.5, right? And even Gemini 3.0 Pro. So you can see how it performs on the benchmarks in terms of the purple. So this is the purple for Qwen 3.5, and you see it outperforming on many benchmarks right here. So if you want to get started with installing this, you can copy this command, and then you are going to go over to the terminal here, set up a new window, and then from here you can start running this, right? Now you want to make sure you have Ollama installed, which you can get for free here. Then you just go to models, go over to Qwen 3.5, and then on Qwen 3.5 you can choose which model you want to use. Now you can even use this, for example, inside Claude Code, OpenClaw, OpenCode, etc., as you can see. And you can run this inside LM Studio as well, right? So inside LM Studio, you can see it right here. Now, some people will be asking, like, can you need like a lot of RAM to run this? If you run the 9B version or even like lower versions of this, then you can take smaller models and run them on even more lightweight versions, right? So, for example, here you can see that 0.8B is available. That's just 1 GB large, and people are running it on an iPhone 17 Pro. So that's how small this is. Quen actually beats models like 4 times the size, which is pretty crazy. And you can see an example of it running on a 17 Pro. This is a video by Adrian. Run in, as you can see. So if you want to get started with this, you can just go to LM Studio as well as Ollama, and then you would just search for the model on the left-hand side. So for example, here we can choose between which model we want to use, and we could select 3.5D like so, click on using chat, and then it would just actually load the model. So we're going to have multiple chats running with this model running, right? And if we just say, okay, are you working right now? We can see if it's working. Also, you can see here it's got vision available, right? Which means that you can use the vision version and it can, like, for example, process image inputs as well, which is pretty crazy. It is a thinking model, so it takes about 11 seconds to respond on the 9B version. Obviously, it'd be even faster to respond if you choose a more lightweight version like the 8B or the 1 GB model as well. So if we go down here, you can see that we've got a 0.8B version like this, and then we can start using it from there. So we could download that. It's literally just 1 GB, which is pretty amazing, considering it's a vision model as well. And this is a model created directly by Alibaba. So Alibaba actually controls this and put out a model, which is pretty amazing. And then you can run it locally once it's done. So you can run it inside two different ways, inside Ollama or inside LM Studio. Honestly, I actually prefer the UI of LM Studio, but if you want to run this inside Ollama, you can do the same. Just search for the model inside the chat here. So we can type in Quen like this. There's also a cloud version. So even if you don't have the power to run it, you can run it via the cloud as well. And then you can select which model you want to use, right? Directly here. Now, if we go to the downloads, we've got this at 29%. So that's taking a little while to download, but it is only 1 GB. And then you've got a bunch of other models as well that you can use here. And these are all different versions of Quen that have been updated just a few hours ago. So it's pretty amazing that you can run this locally. You've got the power of something, right up there with other AI models, but it's super lightweight and you can even run it on crazy stuff. So let's test it out now for something like coding. So if we say, okay, build an SEO calculator, and it would begin to plan out how to build it. and then we can go from there. IMG says, Julian, what's the best AI agent to do estimating for me for construction and that sort of thing? I think honestly, if you're going to pick any of these models, I'd still go with the most powerful in the world, which is called Open 4.6. And then, of course, if it's helping you with stuff like that, like you want to double check the results and always sanity check it first. But yeah, I would go with something. So you can see it's now coded out the calculator, and this is just running completely for free locally with Qwen. Bear in mind, LM Studio and Ollama are free to use as well. Now, if you actually just want to go straight to the cloud version, you can go to chat.qwen.ai, and then you can build out projects direct here. So, for example, previously with Qwen 3.5, we built out a lead magnet, which you can see on the right-hand side, and it was coded pretty nicely. It looks pretty good. And then we even, for example, created this website with like an animated background, and that's looking pretty nice too. So let's check out the results from LM Studio. We've got the reply back here. It's actually pretty fast to reply, which is awesome. And then we can check this out. So if we go to liveweek.com, plug that in, we've got the calculator working and ready to go. Right there. Let's just test it out. Yeah, works perfectly. Boom. So that's pretty cool. I mean, like you could be on an airplane, you just use like one of the best AIs in the world if you wanted to. You could be traveling locally or whatever, no internet, you're good to go. You can still do your work offline using that AI, which is pretty amazing. And then you can also use it inside Qwen, so chat.qwen.ai, directly on the internet. And this is free as well. And then when you code with this, you kind of get like an agent set up where you can preview anything that you build on the outside of Canvas. So either way, looking really good. You can use Ollama, you can Studio, you can use the chat directly online, and it's all pretty easy to set up. You can actually run this as well with something like Claude Code. So if we copy the command once we've got it installed, and then we'll open up a new terminal here, paste it in. Now we have Qwen 3.5 running with Claude Code directly inside there for free as well. Not only that, but you can see in the chat that we've also got this running on OpenClaw. So you can run this on your favorite AI agents as well. So I set it up here, as you can see. Then we said what API you're using, and it said I'm running Ollama with the Qwen 3.5 model on your Mac Studio, and you're good to go on that, right? So you can run it locally with AI agents as well if you want. So let's talk about this. So what is Qwen? Qwen is an AI model made by Alibaba, a huge Chinese tech company. It's basically like Amazon, but in China. They released Qwen 3.5B, 9B, and the 9B stands for billion, right? So this stands for billion. And then you might be thinking, okay, why is Qwen 3. Why is Qwen 3.59b special? Because in tests, it beats or matches models 3 to 4 times the size, right? So it's great at writing, great at coding, good at maths, speaks 29 languages, and it's only about 6 gigabytes to store on the computer. Right? Now, how do you actually use these models? So you can use Ollama, like you just go to ollama.com, download it, install like any normal app, open your terminal, and then run these commands. And then some example use cases. So, for example, like you could create a content generator. You can generate like proposal builders for your agency. We actually have a 30-day plan if you want to really master this stuff inside the AI profit boardroom. Comes with daily prompts you can use with this new model to really master it and just implement it inside your business and build all sorts of cool stuff like automating email sequences or building competitive research tools and stuff like that. Right? So let's talk about some beliefs you probably need to change now to really win with this stuff, right? Because this is what holds people back from using it. So some people think like, local AI models are just for programmers, or I don't know how to code, or this is for me. Really, like, you're the director, the model is a developer, and you can just describe the outcome. Like setting this up, it's just one quick terminal command. If you want to set it up, literally all you do is you install Alarma via your terminal, and then run this inside your terminal, and that's it. You're good to go. So it's like two terminal commands, copy and paste. You're good to go on that. Other people say, well, isn't cloud AI better? Why would I go with local? Honestly, like this performs at a level that's comparable to leading cloud models on coding benchmarks. But the difference here is like you can run it for free, so there's no API costs, and there's no usage caps either. And for agentic coding tasks like building tools, write scripts, etc., local models are now competitive as well. So let's talk about the way versus the new way as well. Before you'd be paying for subscriptions, now you can run your own model with zero ongoing costs and no usage limits. Before you'd be like waiting for a developer to build tools for you, now you can describe what you want and watch the AI build it in minutes, like you've seen today with the SEO calculator example. And then other people, they're learning like 10 different AI tools and hoping one of them sticks. Honestly, you can just set up one framework, one install, one local agent with Qwen 3.5 that handles coding, content, and automation for you. So it's pretty easy to set up. We've actually got 100 prompts you can test with this inside the AI Profit and video notes from today, along with a guide on how to set it up, what it means, a framework for using it, etc. But it's really powerful, really easy to set up, and a bit of a game changer, considering you can run this directly on your mobile as well. Uh, Really cool. Testing. Let's see what we got in the questions then. Um, Bro, your audio cut. I'm new to this, so please, if you could explain what code or what model, yeah, just use. You don't need to use like if you want the best model in the world, then you go with something like Claude Opus 4.6, of course. But if you want to run something locally, then you're going to use Solana, right? So it depends what you're using it for. Like if you need something super powerful that's super accurate, then you're still going to go with models like Claude Opus 4.6, right? These are the best. But if you want that's lightweight, local, runs offline, etc., and free, then you can run Olama. That's basically how it works. That's the difference. Labour says, do we require high virtual RAM for it? So if you want a lower powered version, then you would just use one of the models that are here, right? So you can see that the default model that it's going to run is the 9B version on Olama, but you can always run, for example, 4B or 2B or even 08B if you wanted to, right? So there are plenty of models that you can run locally that are even more lightweight. And, you could also, for example, run the cloud model as well. So you get token limits on the cloud model. But if you wanted like a fast way to run it without much RAM, then you could just do that instead. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all the video notes from today, if you want to learn how to save time and scale with AI automation, check out the AI Profit Boardroom link in the comment description or go to the AIProfitboardroom.com. Inside here, you can ask questions meet an awesome community of 2,500 members. You can get support whenever you want. There's always people online, which is awesome because you can connect with people. And also, we have a daily accountability group so you can post your goals, stay focused, avoid information overload and overwhelm, etc. And then also, if you're if you need help, then you can actually jump inside the calendar here. And you can see we have 4 weekly coaching calls. You can jump on 4 weekly coaching calls where you get support and coaching in real time. You can meet people and local members inside your area. That you see here, so inside your local area via the map. And then inside the classroom, you can get all of our best training. So, for example, you can learn how to go from beginner to expert with AI automation and learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. You can also get our best playbooks on, for example, the automations I use personally. So how avatar videos, how I automate shorts. We've got video tutorials and step-by-step guides on all of these. You can learn how to automate shorts here, newsletters, Twitter, etc. We've got automations and video guides and everything here. If you want to get daily updates on the new latest updates that just came out, you can check out this section. So, for example, today we've already added 4 new guides on Qwen 3.5, OpenClaw, NotebookLM, and the new Pi model from Ollama as well. And then we actually have a 6-hour course on how to use OpenClaw, plus another 3-hour course right there. So everything you need to win with AI is inside the classroom. And then additionally, you can learn how to get more clients with the agency course. You can watch about the coaching calls and get help and support there. You can, for example, learn how to rank number one with AI SEO using this section. And then additionally, you learn how to grow a YouTube channel with AI using this section. So that's all inside the AI Profit Board. And feel free to get it, link in the comments description, or go to the AIprofitboard.com. The other thing I was going to say is like, there's so many people winning with this stuff from the community. So you can see all these testimonials here. We actually have 133 pages of testimonials from people winning with this stuff. And it's pretty much, know, infinite scroll of people sharing their wins and getting results with AI automation. And these are all people inside the school group. So feel free to check it out. Link in the comments description. Ollama just dropped a free AI coding agent called Pi, and we're testing out live right now. You know how AI tools that actually do work for you are usually quite expensive? Not this one. Pi is a free AI agent that lives right inside your computer. You type out what you want, opens files, writes code, fixes bugs, runs the commands all by itself. And this is completely free. Plus, it stays local on your computer. So everything stays on your machine. No one sees your code, no subscriptions, no internet required even after it's set up. And it works with dozens of different AI models. You just pick which one is going to power it. Plus, there's a bunch of free ones included. Now, this is what most people don't realize yet. You don't need expensive tools to have an AI that actually does real work. You just need the right setup. So we're going to find out today together live if Pi actually delivers. No script, just testing. And by the end of this video, you'll know what exactly Pi can do and can't do and whether it's worth adding to your setup. Let's get straight into it. Just before I continue, Chris, you mentioned the voice is a bit muffled. Is it better now? If not, just let me know. Hopefully, audio is a bit better now. So I'm just going to continue. Just let me know if there's any issues with it, please, so I can help you in the best way. So we're going to get this set up. You can see the documentation on Pi right here and how it works. So let's get this set up. You can see the documentation on Pi, as you can see right here. So we're just going to go with this. And the way we can get it set up is just by running the npm install over here. So if we click on new window, we can plug that in. That's going to install Pi coding agent, as you can see. Once you've done that, then we can get this set up with Ollama Launch Pi, right? So you can choose which model you run it from the config. So if you launch Ollama Run Pi, you can see that you can choose between the recommended models and then also the other models that we have here, right? So the recommended models with Pi are GLM 4.7 Flash, Kimi K 2.5 Cloud, GLM 5 Cloud, Minimax 2.5 Cloud, right? Now, I will say GLM 4.7 Flash is one of the most powerful, but at the same time, it needs a lot of power. So I'm running it on a Mac Studio. Even then, sometimes it can be a little bit slower than I would like. If we run it via cloud models, then there will be limits on running that. So just making me fully aware. Now, if you want to run it with faster or better models, etc., then you can choose, for example, like Qwen 3.5 or Qwen 3.5 27B, etc., or even Qwen 3.5 cloud, right? So I'm just going to go with the cloud model because I'm running this live. I want to show you how fast it can be if you're running it locally, or if you're running it via cloud. So if we click on Minimax and 2.5 Cloud here, we can go with that. Then we just download the model, like you can see. Pretty quick to download. And now we're just testing if it's responsive, and it seems to work pretty well. And it's like, right, hi, I'm here to help. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to run a command, build something, etc. Right? So if we go over to something like the AI profit ordering, we need to create a new website for it. Like we could say, okay, create a beautiful, fun website for my AI automation community, the AI profit warning. Okay. Now we've got this coding agent running with Minimax 2.5, as you can see right here. Again, you can run this with local models like Qwen 3.5 and that sort of thing. They will be a bit slower depending on how powerful your laptop is, but that's a good option as well. And this actually comes from a GitHub, as you can see, for Pi. So this is a tool for building AI agents. Um, and it is a free open source project, but you can run it through Ollama directly, as you can see. So it's like, right, I'm going to create this website now. Here's how I'm going to do it, right? So we're going to add some playful fun elements and celebration and confetti elements, etc., stuff like that, to make the website as good as it can be. And then it's going to start coding locally using this model. Now, I'm also wondering if you can have two versions of it running. So maybe you could have one running with Minimax 2.5 and then one running with Qwen 3.5 as well. That would be interesting to test. So let's see if we can run that. I'm just going to open up a new terminal here. We'll see if we can run another version of Pi, but this time with a completely local model at the same time. So let's try this out. We'll run the config here. We can choose which model we want to use. So I'm just going to go with Qwen 3.5 this time. That seems a lot faster. And then we'll try the same command here. So let's take this prompt, plug it in over there. Now we've got two versions of Pi running at the same time. Now you might at this point be wondering, okay, why would you use Pi instead of just using Ollama normally? The main point here is like when you're using Pi, it is a coding agent. So it's designed for like local coding and that sort of thing. So it's like a super minimal way to code locally inside your terminal. Bear in mind that you don't just need to run it through, for example, Ollama. You could run it through like Hugging Face or I think LM Studio maybe you can run it too. I haven't tested it out. But this is how it looks once you've got it up and running. Now you can see that it's built out the project completely. So it's coded it all out. And then we can just open this. So you can see here it's like, right, done. I've created the website. Here's the details. Here's what's new. Here's what we've added. Here's how you can view it. And then boom, look at that. That's the website we've created. It's pretty nice. Bear in mind, like we just coded that using PyAgent, and honestly, like the quality of the outputs you get if you're doing a coding project is going to be much better if you're using Pi than if you're using like the API directly. So, for example, like we could run GLM 4.7 Flash, or we could run, for example, um, Minimax 2.5 Cloud via Ollama directly, but the outputs wouldn't be as nice as something like this. Like this website looks pretty cool. It's fun to use. It's interesting. It's definitely a different style than what we've already got. Bear in mind, this is the original, and then this is a new page that we've coded out locally. It's pretty crazy. Now, it's even, for example, created a nice little logo as well at the top, which I like too. So that's pretty awesome. Now, let's see if we can actually take this a step further. So let's see if we can run it with GLM 4.7 Flash. It actually struggled with Qwen 3.5. So if I open up the terminal for Qwen 3.5. You can see it here, but it actually said error. I think value is medium, which is not supported for this map model. Right? So it does seem to struggle with Qwen 3.5. Let's try Pi with a different config now. And we'll set it up with GLM 4.7 Flash instead. So we'll run that over there. And then in the config, we'll select GLM 4.7 Flash instead. See if that works. Take that, plug it in. Just going to close this. No, it does seem to struggle with GLM 4.7 Flash as well. You can see here it says error 400. Think value medium is not supported for this model either. I don't know if that's because I've got two different windows of Pi running at the same time, but I'm just going to stick with this instead because it seems to work better. That dude Phil says, good talking with your team today. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. Hope you had a good time with the team. Hope they helped you. So, just to recap, what does this mean? How does it work? Why is it useful? Right? So, an AI coding agent, first of all, let's start off with what is an AI coding agent. So, imagine you open a chat window and say, like, fix a bug in my app or build me a login page, right? And instead of just getting text back, the AI can actually like open your files, read your code, write changes, run commands on the computer. That is a coding agent, right? So tools like Core Code, Cursor, Condex, they can all do this, right? And they're incredibly powerful. And they're optimized for doing stuff like this, right? Now with Pi, this was built by Mario Zegner, a developer who used Core Code daily until it turned into a spaceship with 80% of functionality as no use for, as in his own words. And so he was saying like every time the tool updated, it broke his workflows, it changed how the AI behaved. So he built his own, right? And the result is Pi, which is a minimal terminal-based AI coding agent that is tiny by design, fully transparent, completely extensible, so you can build the features you actually want inside here, like your own extensions, local friendly, and free and open source, right? And so this uses Pi AI, and that basically talks directly to your agent, right? Now, when you're using it with Ollama, it's great because you can run it with multiple different models, and these are like some free cloud models, some local models, etc. Okay? And also, you can set this up really quickly and easily. Now, if you want to test out some example prompts for this, we've got a ton inside the Profit Boardroom, so let's try this out. So we're going to take this one, and we'll just create a game. So we're going to recreate Space Invaders, as you can see right here, but slightly different. We'll see what it does. It seems to be pretty fast and responsive when we use it, which I really like. IMG says, Julian, I downloaded Ollama. Have you? You can also switch the model halfway through too. So if you type in forward slash model here, you can see that you can select which model you want to use, right? So you can set up different models if you want to test them out, try new stuff. But you can see that we've got the new version of this game created like so. So this was automatically created by Pi agent, and then it's running over here, right? So we created it inside the terminal on the right hand side, and now it's opened it up automatically and coded out on the left hand side, right? And this is the game. Ready to play. So that's basically it. That's how to use a coding agent. Pretty cool. You can build some cool stuff. You saw the website we built earlier too. It's free to use, free to set up, quick setup, and it runs locally as well. And it's available now to test out. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all the video notes and the setup instructions and everything else from today, you get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or just go to this is my AI automation community with 2,500 members. It's designed to help you scale, save time, and grow with AI automation. So if you want to learn AI, if you want to learn how to implement it inside your business, etc., you can learn that all inside here. And we always have people online, which is great because then if you post a question, you can get help, you can get support whenever you need to. And then also you can post your goals inside the community here, as you can see. Stay laser focused. You can go inside the calendar, join the coaching calls each week, and we have a classroom with tons of trainings right here. If you're wondering, okay, like, is it just me getting results with this stuff? So you can actually see we have over 133 pages of testimonials from people getting results inside the podium, like you can see. So lots of cool people winning with this stuff. And then inside the classroom too, you can get all of our best training. So for example, you can learn how to go from beginner to expert with AI automation, and learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. You can also, for example, get best playbooks on how to automate Twitter, X, newsletters, shorts, AI avatar videos, etc. And then additionally, inside the SOP update section, we add new trainings daily, right? So new video trainings with step-by-step guides and everything else, as you can see. And then if you want to get more clients for your agency, you can learn that right here. If you want to watch about the coaching calls, you can do that over here. If you want to learn how to rank number one with AI SEO, we have a full section on that. And additionally, you can learn how to grow a YouTube channel with AI based on what's working for me. So that's all inside here. OpenClaw plus Qwen 3.5 plus Ollama, the free AI local coding agent that runs 24/7. So OpenClaw just became completely free, and it's because of this. A brand new model just dropped today from Qwen 3.5, and we're testing out today. So you can run it locally, plug it into OpenClaw, giving you a full AI agent system running for free right now today. We're talking about an AI that can, for example, automate tasks, run 24/7, automate tons of coding stuff as well for you. And here's the crazy part: the 9B model just beat AI models 3 times its size, crushing competitors on multiple benchmarks. This isn't just a free alternative. This is better than what some people are paying for. And nobody's talking about this yet. So in this video, we're going to test it out together. You can see it running with OpenClaw directly inside the chat here. I'll show you how to set it up today for free and how to run it locally directly. So what you can see is we set this up this morning and it just relaunched inside the chat. So this is running with the local model. And you can see I just double checked with it. So I said, what API are you using inside OpenClaw? It said I'm running Ollama with the Qwen 3.5 model locally on your Mac Studio, right? So this definitely works. It's definitely responsive. You can run it for free. And I'll show you exactly how to set this up. So you can see that we ran this inside the terminal here. And the way that you can run this inside the terminal is you just go to Ollama. You want to make sure you have Ollama downloaded, right? Now it's pretty simple. You can just run this in literally like 2 clicks. Here's the way that it works. Sorry, 3 clicks. So you're going to make sure that you run Ollama and you just install it with this terminal command, as you can see. Once you've done that, you download the model in your terminal, which is Ollama Qwen 3.5. And then from there, you can run Ollama launch OpenClaw and you'll actually run OpenClaw directly, right, for free. And that's literally how you set up in like 3 clicks. Let me show you how this works directly, okay? So if we open up a new terminal here to install the new version of Ollama, you just copy and paste this command, right? So you grab that, go to your terminal, type that in, as you can see. Then you're going to download the local model, Ollama Run Qwen 3.5. Now, at this point, there's multiple different models that you can use. The default one is 9B, right? So this is the default one. So if you run this command, it's going to set up and install the default version of Qwen 3.5, which is 9B. Now, there are more lightweight versions. You've got 4B, 2B, 0.8B, etc. One thing you have to note here is that when you're running this, the the more lightweight the model, the less powerful it is, which means that it's not going to be as good at running tools, right? So open pulls a lot of cool tools externally. You might be running it with multiple different APIs, that sort of thing. The bigger the model is, the more powerful it is at running separate tools, which means it's going to be more autonomous, basically, when you get outputs. So once you've run Ollama, which we did with the terminal command a second ago, the second step is to run Ollama Qwen 3.5, right? So we just paste that into the terminal like so, right? And that will install Qwen 3.5 for you. If you ever want to close it, because it's automatically going to run the model, then you can just click buy, right? And then the final bit is that you run Ollama launch OpenClaw, and then you pick the model you want to use. Now, for example, we're using model Qwen 3.5 because this is a new version, and we just click that like so, we proceed, click yes. That'll prepare the system for us, set up the gateway. So you can see here it's beginning to run the gateway with Ollama 3.5 and Qwen, with Ollama and Qwen 3.5. Miles says your AI is doing live. It's the real me today. Actually, I don't know if you know this, but I go live like every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. So, I create a lot of human content. Um, I also have, I don't know if you check this out, but if you like human only content, we actually have Julian Goldie podcast, as you can see right here. And we also have this channel as well um, with human only content. So if you prefer like human only stuff, you can check out those two channels. So now you can see that it's set up Qwen 3.5 with Ollama. And now you can see after we run that command, wake up, literally a minute later it responds, right? And so now you can use OpenClaw for free with Qwen 3.5, which is a brand new model that came out. The benefits of that, of course, are that it runs locally, it's free to set up, you're not going to have to pay for APIs, which is pretty cool. So that's basically it for setting up. Now, why would you need this? Well, it's free to run after setup. Your data is on your machine. No usage limits. It works in plain English, and you can literally set it up in like 3 clicks. As you've seen. Right? If you want to get all the video notes on how to set this up, a 30-day plan for running mastering, OpenClaw with Ollama as well. You can check out the video notes from today. And the main thing to note here is like, some people say local AI is slow or not powerful enough, but Qwen 3.5 is right up there on the benchmark of other tools, right? You can see the benchmark right here in terms of how Qwen 3.5 9B performs versus other models. It's actually outperforming, for example, like GPT-5 Nano in many cases, outperforms Gemini 2.0 Flash and the old version of Qwen 3 as well. So it's a really powerful model that you can run locally, and it works well with OpenClaw, as you've seen over here. So if you want to get a 30-day plan plus 100 prompts that you can test out with OpenClaw, plus a 6-hour course on OpenClaw and another 3-hour course right here, you can get this all inside the AR Profit Boarding, link in the comments description, or go to the profitboarding.com. And we have 2,500 members inside here, which means have people online who can answer your questions, help you, support you, etc. You can meet cool people in here. We have a daily accountability group, which means that you can get help whenever you need it. And also, this just helps you stay laser focused. So what you can do each day is post your goals, and then this helps you avoid shiny object syndrome, helps you avoid overwhelm, and you can stay laser focused and accountable to what you want to achieve today. Also, we have 4 coaching calls. You can jump on the live video coaching call, share your screen, ask questions, that sort of thing. You can meet cool people in your local area. And then inside the classroom here too, you can get all of my best training. So if you want to go from beginner to expert with AI automation and learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes, you can check that out right here. If you want to get my best playbooks on, for example, how to automate avatar videos, shorts, Instagram, newsletters, Twitter, etc., all of my playbooks and video tutorials are inside this section. And then additionally, you can see inside the S&P updates, this is where we add new guides every single day. So we have new videos and guides. As you can see, I've already added 4 new guides today. And we look at all the latest stuff that just came out, and then we're like, right, what's the most useful stuff for you right now? And that's how we decide what content we're going to have inside here. Additionally, if you want to get more clients, you can check out the agency course. If you want to watch about the coaching course, you can do that here. If you want to learn how to rank #1 with AICO, you can do that there. And then also you can learn how to grow a YouTube channel in just 6 weeks with AI based on what's working for me inside the AI Profit Boarding. So feel free to get that link in the comment description or go to the AIProfitBoarding.com. And then also we have over 133 pages of people just winning and growing with this stuff, right? So, there's a lot of people learning this stuff, and I love just seeing people getting results with this. So it's amazing to see how many people are sharing the wins and getting awesome results, as you can see. AB Studio says for beginners, how long would you recommend spend each day on the course? So I mean, like honestly, if you only have like, I don't know, let's say like a few minutes per day, like you can learn in like 10 or 15 minutes per day. So if you look at, for example, this section, you can see the videos are 10 minutes long. So you can just watch one video per day. This is week 1, and then that will be enough to really like progress and to learn more. So like 10 minutes a day, something like that. If you're limited on time. NotebookLM just changed the game. Custom infographics are live right now. As you can see, this was just announced a few hours ago. And NotebookLM just made every designer very nervous because Google's free AI tool just dropped something that changes content creation forever. You can now take any document, any PDF, any notes you have, and turn it into a stunning professional infographic that's custom designed. This is not like some generic style. You can actually add custom designs inside the infographic section, as you can see right here. So you can choose your style, one click, and you are good to go on that. You can see all these different styles have been added. So there's 10 preset options and the ability to create your own. Plus, you can choose from like editorial, play, all sorts of cool stuff, as you can see. And that's basically how it works. So it's a brand new example. You can also guide the infographic on what you want to focus on and the style that you want to set up, and then you can customize this infographic as much as you want. So you pick the one that fits your brand or build your own custom style from scratch, one click, and this is completely free to use. So this isn't just a cool feature, this is something that can really help you automate a lot of designs, a lot of social media content, and we'll show you exactly how to automate these styles today. So you can, once you if you're starting from scratch, if you've never used NotebookLM, let me show you how to get this set up from scratch, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to create a new notebook here. Basically, these notebooks are like different notebooks of research that you can insert into a sort of AI trained version of that particular topic, right? So let's say, for example, we wanted to create a notebook on OpenClaw, and then we want to create some custom infographics about it. So we can type in OpenClaw over here, and then we can start doing the research to pull in relevant websites to that topic. What that's going to do is just go off, automate the research for us. We can also do deep research, but we're just going to focus on fast research. And then that can research the web, find topics for us, and we can just import them into the notebook. What does that mean? It means that you can train the AI in a custom way on exactly the topic you want. So it becomes a topic specialist on that particular AI update, for example, or whatever you're trying to research here. Now, once you've done that, it's going to pull all of these into the notebook, as you can see. And then you're going to get something that looks like this, right? Now, on the left-hand side, you've got all your research. In the middle, you've got the notebook that you can ask questions to and that sort of thing. And then on the right-hand side, you can begin to generate the infographics you want. Now, you can choose between these different styles here. As you can see, you can select portrait, square, or landscape. You can select which language you want to use. And then you can describe the infographic you want to create and style of it, right? And then once it's generated, you're going to get an infographic back like that. So let's test this out. We actually got an example infographic over here that we've created previously. So this is about OpenClaw and how it works, etc. The whole project, and it was just automated in one click. Now, if you want to generate something like that, you can open up here, and we could put like, okay, 10 cool use cases of OpenClaw inside this example. And you can choose the level of detail you want. You can have concise, standard, or detailed. You can say, okay, 10 core uses of OpenCore, and then you can choose what style you want in terms of the infographic layout, right? So let's say, for example, we want to create something that looks kind of like this cool sketch note. We want to stick to English, and let's say, for example, portrait images work well on X, and that's what we generate this for. Then we could hit generate like so. It will begin to create this infographic here, right, on the right-hand side. Now, you can also generate audio views, video views, slide decks, mind maps, reports, flashcards, quizzes, data tables, as well as infographics. And you can also generate multiple infographics at the same time. So here we can say, okay, 50 tips for using OpenClaw, right? And we can do the same method, and we can also auto-select. So if you don't want to choose your own custom style, just go with the auto-select option, and then you're good to go. We can change that to detailed because we're going to add more information inside the infographic. Obviously, 50 tips is a lot to put in. And we're going to select portrait again for that, right? And that's going to generate two different infographics at the same time. And again, this is a free tool that you can use for doing this. Now, if we open up, this is where it gets interesting, actually. So if we go to a tool called Anti-Gravity, which is kind of like a local vibe coding tool, we can actually use Anti-Gravity with NotebookLM and then insert these infographics into our projects, right? So how do you do that? Well, here's an example. So what we actually did here is we connected an MCP server, which is basically just a fancy way of saying connecting NotebookLM, for example, to anti-gravity. And then you can create infographics and put those infographics inside any sort of websites or landing pages that you're coding now with anti-gravity locally. Right? So you can see an example here. We said use NotebookLM to generate a notebook about OpenClaw, and then it used the MCP tool, and it created a notebook about OpenClaw, as you can see right here. Right, so this whole notebook was created with anti-gravity. So if we go inside anti-gravity here, we're like, okay, create a cool infographic on NotebookLM about anti-gravity. It will then use the MCP tool and connect anti-gravity to NotebookLM. And then with the infographics that you generate, you can actually use that inside the project or the website, whatever you want to create. Right? So you can see it working right there. Now, if we go back to OpenClaw, you can see that we've got the 10 ways to use OpenClaw infographic ready to go. Right? And how easy was that? Right? And it shows all the different use cases. The text is super nice. It was completely automated. And we can download this as well. So if we click on Save Image As, we've now got that image ready to go. And you could share that on social media, or you could talk people through it in a presentation or whatever you want to do. Right? And so that's basically the custom infographic update. Works really well, ready to go, pretty simple and easy to set up. You can connect it to anti-gravity as well. If you're wondering like how do you use anti-gravity with NotebookLM, so what you do is just copy the NotebookLM MCP details here. You can see the GitHub project. So this is an open source free extension, and then you can install that directly into anti-gravity or any other tool that you wanted to connect it with. I think you could probably even do that inside OpenClaw if you wanted to. Although I'll be careful with integrating um, OpenClaw with any of Google's technologies. But that's basically how it works. And then you can see we've got the infographic generating. So this was automated fully by anti-gravity. Right? So anti-gravity actually automated and created the infographic inside NotebookLM. So you can link the two systems together. Pretty amazing. So that's basically it for the new update. Just to recap, what NotebookLM does that it couldn't do before. When you generate an infographic, you can now get a visual style selector. These are the options rolling out. So you've got auto select, editorial, blah, blah, and you can have your own ability to create your own custom style. This means you're no longer stuck with generic, instantly recognizable AI infographics that everyone can spot. You can match your style to your brand, your audience, your niche, your voice, and also for you, if you're running a business, every time you create content that looks different, looks beautiful, and looks like it took a designer 3 hours to make, but it actually took 3 minutes, you win, right? You look more credible, your content gets shared more, and you attract more customers, right? We've actually got a 30-day plan for really leveraging this with day-by-day prompts, as you can see inside the video notes today. And this is all inside the AI profit boarding link in the comments description. We have 100 prompts you can test as well. So if you're using the custom style section for infographics, we've got 100 prompts you can test out with this, as you can see. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. We have a 4-hour course on how to use NotebookLM as well, as you can see. And that's updated daily inside the community. So for example, we have a full 6-hour course on how to use OpenClaw. We have new guides today on like Ollama Pi, the new NotebookLM update, OpenClaw, and how to use it for free. And also the new update from Qwen 3.5. So today we just add new cool stuff about what's working and how to use it inside the AI profit boarding. That's available, link in the comment description, or go to the AIprofitboarding.com. Now, inside this community, we have 2,500 people. So you can post questions inside the community, get help, get support whenever you need to. We have live coaching inside the calendar here, so you can jump on video calls when you need to. There's a map, so you can meet people in your local area. And then inside the classroom too, you can see that, for example, we guide you from beginner to expert in just 5 weeks on AI automation. You'll learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. Additionally, you get training on my best playbooks. So, for example, how I automate newsletters, X, Shorts, Instagram, AI avatar videos, etc. And then you can find the daily updates right here too. With the agency course, you can learn how to get more agency clients right here. And then if you want to learn how to rank number one with AICO, you've got that section right there. And also with YouTube, you can learn how to grow a YouTube channel with AI using this roadmap. So that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comment description. Thanks for watching. Let's see what we got in the questions here. Can you show how to connect AI Studio to anti-gravity? I think that feature's coming soon, but it's still in beta. And Fields asks, how do Perplexity credits work between Max and browser automation? Yeah, so I'm not 100% certain on that. I'm not like an expert on how to manage your credits, but I think you get like 10,000 credits a month with Perplexity. And then depending on which you use, whether that's a computer or whether that's the main version of Perplexity, you just check in the settings and find it. Basically. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Cheers. Bye bye.